to today's CESI and Science series. We're here with CESI Vice President Javier Jordán de Urries Sagarna. I'm always afraid of that name. And Javier is also President of CSIF Justicia. Javier, welcome to today's interview.
Good morning to everybody, or good afternoon for everybody, and thank you very much for inviting me and taking part in this.
Javier, can you a little bit explain what CSIF stands for? What is its tasks?
Well, we are one of the main trade unions in the public sector in Spain. We represent all the public sectors, education, health, justice, central and regional and local administration, public enterprises. And we are increasing our presence in the private sector because we think that if we have to grow and we want to be more important than we are, we have to grow and we have to pay attention to the private sector. And we are increasing our presence in the enterprises, in private enterprises, companies every year. So this is one of the new fields we are trying to get. And this is mainly our main activity. We were born as a public trade union, public sector trade union, and this is our main task right now.
And as a trade unions, what have been the particular lessons now of this COVID-19 outbreak and lockdown and other measures to basically hinder the spreading of the pandemic?
Well, I think the first lesson is the great importance of public sector and public services for our societies. I think resilient societies are relied on very strong and adequate public services, and I think this is one of the first lessons. And when we pay attention to the economy, when we have when we just get out from the financial crisis in the final 2010, we just enter in this sanitary and health emergency, and we realize that the cuts made in the past are passing the bill right now. And I think this is one of the main lessons we have to learn about that take the money and put the money in the public sector and the public services. Is not a matter of wasting money, it's a matter of expense money, it's a matter of investment. And we just seen very clearly in the health sector, but in the justice sector, as I represent, we represent and we support the activity of one of the three big powers in every modern and rule of law countries, that is the justice. And we don't stop, we never close or lock down the courts. We just keep them, just have kept them open. And as I said before, it is very clear in the health sector, but in the other public sector as well. And we cannot forget in the private sector, the main and the key importance of the all distribution for food, medicines and everything, all the people that works on these very current activities. And when we are just in a normal life, we don't realize their importance. But when we have to be at home, we need to buy food, we need to buy and to be provided, to get provided of medicines and all that. And it is this great amount of workers that have been there supplying these first basic items.
Javier, as a citizen and as a trade unionist, what are actually your biggest hopes and fears at this, let's say, in these difficult times?
Well, let's start with the worries and the difficulties and the difficulties in the future. I think it is clear we are entering in a very big and deep and unknown economic crisis, and we don't. I think I'm not an expert, and I don't study economics, and I'm not an expert in economics. But I think everybody can see that we are entering in this economic crisis. We don't know exactly how deep it will be, because it is the first time in our lives that we have stopped the economy in the way that we have stopped the economy in the beginning of the 2020. And it's going to bring with this economic crisis. We are going to see so many suffering in people and many unemployment problems and probably a recession. It is true that we don't know exactly what is going to happen, and probably and hopefully the recession cannot be or won't be as hard as we suppose or we guess right now. This is one of the hopes I have, but it is very clear that something is going to happen, something bad is going to happen with the economy, and so many people is going to suffer these consequences. And the fear, another things that I fear most right now is that we don't beat the virus, and we still are in danger, and we don't have to say, okay, that's finished, and we can relax the measures of protections. And I think we are not. I don't know if we are aware. We have the awareness of. We think we are safe right now, and we won't. We are not. We are not safe right now. So, I still feel personally, I take as many measures of protection measures as I can. I take them in order not to be infected by the virus, and I think we have to be very aware of the danger of this virus still. Despite the vaccines and despite we can find any treatment for this for the COVID-19, but we are still in danger. So and the hopes are, I think I mentioned, the hopes are the vaccines. Let's hope that the doses arrives to the European countries as soon as possible, and not only European countries, any other country that or in the third world, in the so-called third world, just to beat the virus in just a few months, in the next few months. And one of that the other hope I have is I have the hope of that we have learned the lesson of this virus. I think. I hope that the politicians and the societies realize that we need a very consistent and coordinated response to this kind of global threats. This is really a global threat. We just talk so many times in CESI about the globalization and the global economy and the global work market, but this virus is really a global threat in this, and we have we don't the countries, not only politicians, even societies has not response as this global threat deserve and I think this is I hope that we have learned this lesson for the future, the value of the public services, the value of the distribution sector, and the hope of the vaccines arrive so soon.
So the list of worries was slightly longer than the list of hopes, but I deduce nevertheless that there's reason to hope. What I always find comforting is that we're still living in stable societies altogether, generally speaking. And as you said, this is largely due also to well-functioning and efficient public services. If you were about to finish the following sentence, please do so. Altogether, the crisis has revealed that.
I think I answered that in the last response. I think personally, I think it revealed that we are not as strong as a human beings, as strong that we believed. I think we have reached a high level of development in our societies, and we have thought that we were invincible, not immortals. I don't think we have reached that level of greed But I think we have reached a high level of commodities, of comfort, and we really thought that we were invincible, that this little virus has demonstrated us that we have weak, and that we are weak, and we have to pay attention to our human nature in some way. And in the as a trade unionist, I think it has revealed, I repeat, I have to insist on that, and I have to stress the value of public services and the value of resilient societies. We have to be ready for the bad times, not only for the good times.
And to finish, what is the added value for your trade union to be part of, let's say, confederation, a European confederation?
Well, you know that I firmly believe of CESIF taking part in CESI. We just know from some years, not too much, but some years. I started to work with in CESI in 2014, to collaborate with you in 2014. And I firmly believe that CESIF is so important. It's a great platform to get through this very complicated and unknown world of European bubble, as you usually say to describe Brussels, the European bubble, the Brussels bubble. For us is an opportunity to carry our claims, our national claims, to the European institutions. And I think we have to work in so much or more than we have done it in the past, in order to get all this profit in our own benefit. But it's just a matter of time, and I think everything has its own time to develop. And in the other way, in the other hand, I think it's a great platform to exchange points of view with so many colleagues from different countries, close countries like Italy, or like Greece, or like France, and some other very far countries, like all the colleagues from the eastern countries, of the ancient Eastern European countries, with a very different situation, very different reality. And it's a great platform to exchange experiences, to help, or to give, to show what we do in some specific areas that can be useful for any other trade union. And in the third point, I think it's a very good platform to reach organized know about all the laws of the European regulations, of the European studies. It's a good platform to gather all the European knowledge in just one platform as CESI. And it is very useful for us, because we can talk to you and say, okay, I have these problems. When I have information about this, okay, you can go to this think tank, for instance. So there is a very interesting study from the European Commission of Eurofound, and probably you can find what you want in these sources. So
Javier Jordán de Urries Sagarna. I really want to have a name like this. I can't, unfortunately. Thank you very much. You're Vice President of CESI and President of CESIF Justicia. All the best to you, all the best to your trade union, of course, to colleagues in Spain, and I hope to see you soon again in person.
Okay, all the best for you, of course, and for all the viewers. And I'm really look forward to go to stay in Brussels and to share with you and with all your team a bit of time, just not only for through the screen, okay, in person.
Bye, Javier. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.